Good morning, children. In the last video, we started the new chapter of biology, that is tissue. In that, we have seen that all living organisms are made up of cells. They are either unicellular or multicellular. Now, for example, in unicellular amoeba, a single cell carries out movement, intake of food, excretion. Whereas in multicellular organism, there are the millions of cells perform the specific function, and these specific functions carried out a group of cells. These group of cells are known as the tissue. So here we can define tissue, that it is a group of cells of similar structure combined together to perform a specific function, which we call as a tissue. Now tissue, when we study about the tissue, basically in this chapter we are going to study about the plant tissues and animal tissues. Now first we'll start with the plant tissues, which we have already started last week, that plant tissue. Now plant tissues are broadly classified into two. Plant tissues are broadly classified into two: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Now what is meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissue means where the continuously plants keeps on dividing. It's a continuously dividing cells are there, which we call as a meristematic tissue. So if you can see some part of the plant where the continuously growth takes place, there meristematic tissues are present. So here we can say that it is a group of cells which keeps on dividing at particular location. The cells continuously divide and it add the new cells to the plant body. Such type of cells are known as the meristematic tissue. Now if you see meristematic tissue under microscope, it can be spherical in shape, oval or rectangular in shape. As the cells are compactly arranged, they are closely packed, they are tightly packed with each other. So here their intercellular space is absent, vacuoles are absent, but it has a dense cytoplasm. Cell wall is there with the cellulose. It has a prominent nucleus. It has a clear nucleus, because these cells, meristematic tissues, are there continuously divide. So the nucleus is also divide. So it has a clear nucleus. Now again, meristematic tissues are again divided into three. That is which are the three? Apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. Here you can see apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Their functions also we have where it is present, that also we have seen. Apical meristem. Apical meristem is present at the growing tip of stem and roots. Intercalary meristem is present in the base of leaves and internode, and lateral meristem, the girth of stem and roots increase due to the lateral meristem. So this we have already seen, children. Now today we are going to start the new topic, that is permanent tissue. Now children, just recall the flow chart. Plant tissue is divided into two, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue are divided into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Now permanent tissue. Now children, in the plant body, at particular location where the growth stops, there which tissues are present? Permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are lost their ability to divide. Permanent tissues originate from the meristematic tissue. If the plant continuously grows, cell divide, their meristematic tissues are present. But once you see the plants, the growth has stopped, the plants are not growing, there at that particular location permanent tissues are present. So here we can say that it is a group of living or the dead cells formed by the meristematic tissue and lost their ability to divide. Now these permanent tissue, once they lost their ability to divide, these permanent tissue taking up the permanent shape, size and function, which we call as a differentiation. Now children, differentiation means what? Once the growth has stopped, it means now this permanent tissue gives a final permanent shape, size and function to the plant body, which we call as a differentiation. Now children, permanent tissues are again classified into simple permanent tissue, complex permanent tissue. Now again recall the flow chart. Plant tissue divided into two: meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue divided into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. Now permanent tissue is again divided into two: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Now simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue, before we study about, just have a look these two diagrams. On the left hand side you can see the meristematic tissue. At particular location the plant continuously grows, growth that takes place. On the right hand side you can see the cells of the permanent tissues. These are the tissues are present. They may be living or dead cells. Some of the cells are living cells, some of the cells are dead cells present in the permanent tissue. Then simple permanent tissue. Now children, as I said that permanent tissues are divided into two: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Now why are they known as a simple permanent tissue? Simple permanent tissue means they have one type of cells. They have one type of cells means similar type of cells are present, similar structures of cells are present. That's why they are known as a simple permanent tissue. Then what is complex permanent tissue? Complex permanent tissue means different structures of cell combined together to form a tissue, which we call as a complex permanent tissue. So again recall the flow chart children. Plant tissue divided into meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue divided into three: apical meristem, lateral meristem, intercalary meristem. Permanent tissue divided into two: simple permanent tissue, complex permanent tissue. Why are they known as a simple permanent tissue? Because they are made up of one type of cells. Why are they known as a complex permanent tissue? Because the different type of cells combined together, different structures of cells combined together perform a specific function. That is why they are known as the complex permanent tissue. Now simple permanent tissues are again divided into three: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. I repeat again, simple permanent tissues are again divided into three: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So now we'll study about the parenchyma. Here just see the structures of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now if you see the structure of parenchyma children, it is the most simple and unspecialized primitive tissues. This is the most simple and unspecialized primitive tissues. It consists of a thin cell wall and have the intercellular space between them. Intercellular space means space between the two cells, which we call as the intercellular space. So it is a most simple unspecialized primitive tissue. It is a type of a permanent tissue, right? It consists of a relative unspecialized with a thin cell wall. Now they are live cells. These cells are the living. As I said that in permanent tissue there are living cells and dead cells. Living tissues and dead tissues are present. Parenchyma is a living tissue. So here we can say the first point in parenchyma, it is a most simple unspecialized primitive tissue. It consists of a thin cell wall. It is a living cell. These are loosely packed. Due to this loosely packed, there is an intercellular space. They have a lot of intercellular space. Next point about parenchyma children. Parenchyma tissues provide support to the plant and also stores food. Parenchyma support to the plant and also it helps in the stores food. So these are the few characteristics of parenchyma tissue. Now children, about parenchyma, here we can say that in some of the plants parenchyma contain chlorophyll. I repeat again, in some plants parenchyma contain chlorophyll, which we call for perform the photosynthesis. It is known as the chlorenchyma. I repeat again, some parts, or we can say some plants contain parenchyma contain chlorophyll for this function of photosynthesis. It is called chlorenchyma. Whereas some plants also contain air cavities. Some parenchyma contains, in all the plants parenchyma is present. So in some of the plants parenchyma contain air cavities. Now where it's air cavities, mostly aquatic plants. So some of the parenchyma contains air cavity, which we call as the arenchyma. Example, all the aquatic plants. So parenchyma, I repeat again, parenchyma consists of the thin cell wall. It has a lot of intercellular space between them. It is a most simple and unspecialized primitive tissue. It consists of a thin wall, as I said. Its main function is support to the plant, and it also helps to store food. Next, some plants, parenchyma contain chlorophyll for the function of photosynthesis, which we call as the chlorenchyma. In some plants, parenchyma contain air cavities, mostly aquatic plants, which we call as the arenchyma, and they are the living cells. So this is first the simple permanent tissue, which we call as the parenchyma. The next permanent tissue is collenchyma. You can see the collenchyma here, the collenchyma, children, collenchyma. Now, what about the collenchyma? Now, the flexibility in plants. As you can see, the plants we can bend, leaves, even stem also. So the flexibility in plants due to the another permanent tissue, that is collenchyma. It allows the bending in various parts of the plant, like leaf, stem, without breaking. It allows bending of various parts of the plant without breaking it. So there, which tissues are present? Children? Collenchyma. So collenchyma, the flexibility in plant, the flexibility in tissues, the flexibility in leaf, you can bend it without breaking it. So which tissues are present? Collenchyma. These collenchyma also helps, it also gives mechanical support to the plant. These tissues, these are also the living tissues. Parenchyma is also the living cells. Collenchyma is also the living cells. If you see the collenchyma, it has a thickened wall at the corner. It has a thickened wall, and it has also thickened wall and less intercellular space is present, or you can say it has a very much less negligible nuclear space is present. In parenchyma, there is a lot of intercellular spaces present. That is why it looks loosely packed. Whereas in intercellular, and it has also thin cell wall. Whereas here collenchyma, we can say it has a thick cell wall at the corner, and it has a very less, or we can say intercellular space is absent. The flexibility in plant is due to the collenchyma, like leaf, stem, bends, is due to the collenchyma tissues. It gives mechanical support to the plant, and second, it also allows the bending of various parts of the plant. So collenchyma are the thickened at the corner. It has very less intercellular space, and it is also living cells. The next tissue which we are going to study, that is sclerenchyma. Now children, these sclerenchyma is actually very hard and stiff. I repeat again, this sclerenchyma is very much hard and stiff. So it is a tissue which makes the plant hard and stiff. Now there is no intercellular space inside the cell. In parenchyma, there is lot of space. In collenchyma, there is little space, intercellular space. In sclerenchyma, there is no intercellular space. Okay, they are long and narrow. Here you can see they are long and narrow with the thickened cell wall due to the presence of lignin. 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 We have seen this is all about it. Now sclerenchyma, as I said, they have long, narrow as a wall thickened due to the presence of lignin. Lignin. Lignin is a chemical substance which act as a cement in the plant body. So here we can see that it is a tissue which makes the plants hard and stiff. There is no internal space inside the cells. Now, like for example, husk of coconut, right? Husk of coconut is example, which is made up of sclerenchyma tissues. These cells of these tissues are dead. They are long and narrow as the walls are thickened due to the lignin. Lignin is a chemical substance which acts as a cement and hardens them. Now, often these walls are so thick that there is no interspace inside the cells. These tissues are present in the stem, around the vascular bundles, in the veins of leaves, and the hard covering of the seeds and nuts. It provides the strength to the plant body. So this is all about the sclerenchyma. So children, here we have seen about the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. So I can just again please recall the flow chart. Plant tissue is divided into two: meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are divided into three: apical meristem, lateral meristem, intercalary meristem. Then permanent tissues are divided into two: simple permanent tissue, complex permanent tissue. Simple, why are they known as a simple? Because they have the similar type of structures are present, so that's why they are known as a simple permanent tissue. Complex means a different cells combined together, so different shapes of cells combined together perform a specific function, so they are known as a complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissues are divided in again three: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, cell of parenchyma are thin cell wall, intercellular space between them. They are generally present in a soft part of the plant like leaves, flowers, roots, etc. In some plants, parenchyma contain chlorophyll for the photosynthesis function, so we call as a chlorenchyma. In some plants like aquatic plants, it contain air cavity, so they are known as the erenchyma. Then we have studied about the collenchyma. The flexibility in plants is another permanent tissue called collenchyma. It allows bending of various parts of stem without breaking it. Cells of collenchyma are thickened at the corner. There is very little intercellular space, and these are living cells. It gives support, mechanical support to the plant. So here you can difference between parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. There is a similarity between the parenchyma and collenchyma, that both are the living cells.